Okay, so I think I'm live now. Hi. And this is my follow up to the previous one, which I was supposed to make yesterday. And while I want to enjoy my weekend, I'm just going to go ahead with this. And then when I'm done, it'll be really short, just going through like the updates. And of course, talking about um, copy versus design, which is a very very popular topic in the entire design space, the entire sales and marketing space. Anyways, let me just go. First off, I kind of asked ChatGPT to create something I want to talk about, and it gave me like a live build and all of this. But I'm not gonna do all that. I'm just gonna go through. First off, copy, which I kind of had to search ugly funnels here in this group. It's a really popular group in the marketing space, and this was the first one I saw. And then there was this, which is a question, but the comments are pretty interesting. And basically, my stand is someone said like Google Docs. Like people have used Google Docs to see huge success in sales and all of that, but there are specific cases where it definitely cannot work. And Frank Kranz. So I could just easily Google search Frank Kran, and then I would see this. And as you can see, this is why they say he has ugly funnels. And as you can see, looks pretty ugly. But this is like his entire identity, where he basically does not care what it looks like, and this is what it currently looks like. And I'm not against that, of course, but take a look at this. Now compare it to that. I personally would buy something from this page than this one, but that's just my opinion. And maybe I'm biased as a designer too, but whatever. Anyways, now this course page we're looking at right now is a typical example of an eye candy page. It's basically when a designer decides to go all out on his own platform. So it's like a course for designers. As you can see, it looks pretty much like eye candy to me. It's built on Webflow, and it has all these drop downs of like the models that are available and all of that. I think it's built on, I can't see what it's built on, but I'll check. But basically, like, there are people that as you can see, what this guy is like positioning on is that for people like Frank Khan and Alex Hormozi, it works for them. The ugly funnels work for them because they already have influence, so they don't need to do too much to make sales. They already have content out there, they already have leverage. But for beginners or people that really need to make sales, the design is just gonna make the stuff stand out. And back to the actual design, because this is like the design build, live design build. So like I mentioned before, these are the patterns I made. So these are the background patterns. I'm still gonna add a lot more, probably gonna be way too much, because I'm thinking of a few variants, because like this is one variant, gradient. This is a regular one. This is like a gradient of that one. Then this is a gradient with a background, and then this is a gradient with glow at the top. Then this is the normal glow. Then this is like a bunch of glows, which I don't really see where this would be useful, but if it's just a random section, yeah, it will be. But as you can see, this one right here, something similar. If you watched my last design build, I built this page and then I put in this gradient, but now I added this grids at the background, and as you can see, it looks like it took the design to a whole new level just by this simple addition. So it's more like you can see the effects each change is making to it. I went from a solid color to a gradient to this. As you can see, these two, the same effect, as you can see. So of course all of these are available, as you can see from here, they're all available here, and the library will keep growing. It's probably gonna feel like the entire page, and the stars and checkers too probably gonna get to this point too, just different styles, and that's basically it. But first we would have to compare. This is what a typical ugly funnel looks like. You can see looks very similar to that Frank Kern's website. Let me just go there back. And by the way, I never took a look at this Frank Kern's site before I made the other page. I just know what an ugly funnel looks like because it just lacks color. As you can see, it's just red for the buttons to grab attention, and everything else is just black and white. Checkers are just like, it's a very low effort kind of website. I don't even know where this is built on. Oh, it's on high level too. Interesting. It looks like high level because only people with actual design skills can actually build on high level and make it look good. But that's my opinion. I mean, that's exactly what this guy was complaining about here. But for now, I stand on the opinion that, not like an opinion, it's more like a general, that while copy and design are both important and they go hand in hand, one can't work without the other. Although a nice looking website can sell a product, a trashy product, a nice looking landing page or funnel can sell the trashy product. And for that to happen, the copy has to be convincing though. So like I said, they have to work hand in hand. But since a good design, the way it works is this: a good design is rarely noticed, because a good design basically indicates that you're good at your job. And when you're good at your job, if the typical journey is when a potential customer lands on your website or a landing page, the design is the last thing on mind. They only came to see the content and the video and all of that. So the design is good. It's more like something that's subconscious, because if it becomes conscious, it's not like that good of a design anymore. But it looks good, it looks clean, it looks great, and that's all there would ever be to it. And that's it. That's honestly it. But let's just do something. As you can see, this is like the style of buttons I use there. That's it right there. You can see it right there. Next up, I would go to ChatGPT and see what it said I should talk about, because so if you'd analyze Frank Kern's website, there's barely anything to look at. Honestly, it's just the text. It's more like the entire focus is on the text, and that's it. There's no like proof of customers or anything. It's just his name sells what he sells, and that's basically it. And they also mentioned acquisition, acquisition.com. So this is acquisition.com by Alex, and they said this has mid design too, so they're really focused on the design, which is true, and I'm not gonna deny that. I saw it before. But then it's not really opening right now. I was waiting for it to open, but it's not really opening. So basically, the debate is simple. If you have to sell something to an audience that doesn't really know you, you need these kind of proofs: the scarcity, the attention, the elements that would grab the attention, like this reviews and highlights and all of that. But in a case where these things are not required, it's because the person behind the product or service already has leverage, like a name or brand behind it, that it doesn't really need to do too much to make sales. But that's basically it. But in general, they both go hand in hand, and that's basically how they work. Anyways, in the next, I don't really want to make this too much, because all these assets, as you can see, the name of this section here is called header assets. So it's like asset for the header section, basically, even though you can use it for every other part of the site. So I am kind of thinking of, I'm still building out the structure of how I want this entire library to be. So I wanted to make it like a header asset, and then review assets, testimonial assets, then footer assets. But then with that, I would see a repeat. I would say, I'm kind of thinking live right now, but I would see a repeat in certain assets like the stars and ratings, because those stars will actually be also in the testimonial assets section, but also they'll be used on the header like I used them here, even though they might be different styles. But I'm still thinking, should I do that, or should I just make all asset styles or sections be on a single page and then group it by layers? But then on this page alone, there's so much layers that I want to make it as easy as you come in, you need something, you go in, you look for it, and in 2 minutes flat, you get a particular design style you need and export it and add it to whatever CRM you use. But to do that, I would have to think like a person that really doesn't use the software, doesn't use Figma at all. So I'm currently thinking of making the header assets, and then body assets, and then footer assets. So just 3 sections. But these 3 sections will they may contain some repeat assets like the background and styles like that. But then they will contain some special assets like shape section styles. So for images, so let me make an explanation, a simple explanation. Okay, let me use this wireframe kit. So there should be an image here. I opened this wireframe kit from the Figma library. So there should be an image here. And now this image has a style which is like blob, is a blob styled image. Now let me show you, let me see. So then, as you can see, there are image styles here. I am basically looking for, not really basically, I'm looking for, yeah, so the featured images here and here. I will make image styles for them, but then there will be a lot. So this is like the body section, like the features and the reviews and the testimonials and ratings. So assets that will be used here, including logos and logo styles, you can import and resize and all of that. Since I'll be making like a short video to use each section that you can just open in 2 minutes, you'll be able to export a section and use on your platform immediately. It's as simple as going in, choosing your image. So let me say I want a thumbnail. I need a new thumbnail. I'll come to this image section here. I'll come here, upload from computer. I'll scroll down a bit, and then if this is the image or this is the image, I'll open it. And just like that, I'll be able to export that as a thumbnail. And I'll just export that by going here, export one. I'll just come to export right here. And then I'll just export. And as soon as I export that, I'll just add it to my CRM. Also, I am currently going to begin working on a project, so I'll be done by that project maybe by sometime next week. But I'll also give a workflow of how I did it, probably between next week and upper week. I'll give a workflow of how I utilize the assets on the library, on the design library, because every asset I'll use on that funnel will be available on this design library. And so I don't know if I'm talking too fast, but you don't really need to know how to do too much. I think this has been mute for a while, but you only need to know how to. Basically, what I said was this: to use the funnel library, you only need to know how to copy, paste, replace, export. And that's it. You don't even need to know how funnel should look, because you get this kind of examples of how it should look, how a particular place, because usually people know what looks good, but to make what looks good is difficult. So the only way to intuitively make what looks good is if you have been doing it for a long time. But to make what looks good without having to do it for a long time, you just have to copy, which is what I'm here for. You don't have to waste your time. Just go out and make money, which is all that matters, by the way. And basically, that's it. This funnel library is gonna be long. Anyways, send me a DM if you wanna lock in. Just to go over the pricing again. It's a collection. What is it? What is the funnel design asset library? If you're watching this for the first time, if you're joining me live for the first time, it's a collection of all sorts of design elements in a very number of styles that is completely editable and customizable in less than 5 minutes. And I'm just trying to check if I'm live right now. Yeah, I am. So if you have a host of templates from whatever CRM you're using and you just need to edit it and maintain structural aesthetics fast, then this is for you. Like I mentioned, you already have these templates, you bought them, or you are inside any CRM you use, but you want these things to look good. You want them to look different. You want them to look special. Then this is actually what I am making this for. Agency owners, business owners, if you are an agency that has like VAs that need to crank out websites fast, this is for you. Of course, one will be available, I said 2 to 3 weeks, which was from last week. So I'm expecting to release this by next week or the upper week. The first version, by the way. I'm not promising anything. But how do you get access? $50 for yearly access, $20 for monthly access, and then $300 These things are going to be updated weekly, monthly. Then $300 for lifetime access, which means you never have to pay again and you have access to the library for life, which is like a good option though, because I usually design normal landing pages for $500 and then full-blown websites for $1,000. Having all the assets to design these landing pages and funnels are, for this price, is like a steal if you ask me. With everything customizable. Don't forget that everything is customizable. Anyways, to lock in, send a DM, like I said before. And that's it. It's been like 18 minutes, but I have basically exhausted all I wanted to say. And on the debate of ugly funnels versus copy, which is back to ugly versus whichever wins. The numbers don't lie, so whichever you test and converts better for you, that's what wins. Next time I'll probably be talking about speed. Next time I'll probably be by the end of next week, so Thursday or Friday. So I'll be talking about like speed and how speed actually affects your funnels. And then you realize that someone that actually wants to buy wouldn't need it to be that fast. Like, your funnels don't have to be super fast for it to convert, which is shocking, I know, but humans are humans. Anyways, that's all I have to show for now. And next we're probably looking at body assets, and there are 3D shapes I also want to check and look at. So we have so this is like faded patterns with backgrounds, and then these like gradients, and then there will be a section for 3D assets, fades. Sometimes I'm bad with naming, but it'll be like 6 more different background styles for your headers. That is what it will look. So there is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. So it'll be like 3 more, so 7. Probably up to 10 if I have more options, but that's it. And I would see you. I want to be online for a long time, but this seems like more than enough because it's the weekend. Most people are like enjoying their weekend, and I'm on here making an update like I said I would. Anyways, I'll see you on the next one. Peace. And don't forget, if you want to book a meeting, cow.com/Dashlock. Dashlock is my design agency. To just contact me on message. If you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, you would see the link in the description. Or you can just click and you can just you see the link that's like scrolling through right now, and you could just basically type that out on your browser and you'll be able to get me on Messenger, or just book a meeting on cow.com/Dashlock.